Hello, welcome to today's lesson. Today we are going to be looking at diversity of matter. So diversity of matter is quite broad. So what we've done is we are going to divide it into four parts. Okay, we'll divide it into four parts and then we'll treat the parts separately. So this is going to be the first part. And the first part is going to be on living things and then non-living things. Okay, that is what the first part is going to be on. All right, so let's look at the kind of things in the environment, the things in the environment. So when you take a look around your classroom or your school environment or even your home, what are some of the things that you see around? Whether being it in the house, be it in the school or even your classroom, there are certain things you see around you. Okay, can you mention some of them? Okay, so the kind of things in the school environment. So you have to mention some. Just look around you and then mention some. Okay, and then some of the things around us. If you are not able to mention, let me give you a few of them. So we have tables, chairs, books, plants, human beings, animals, toys. Okay, we have all these things around us in the environment. Sorry. And then all the things you see around you can be put into two main groups. The things we see around us can be put into two main groups. So the first group is living things. The first group is what? Living things. The first group is living things. The second group is non-living things. The second group is non-living things. So what are living things? What are living things? We say that living things are things that have life in them. They are things that have life in them. So when you take a look at the pictures below, you can see animals and you can see human beings. They are all examples of things that have life in them, and they are all examples of living things. Okay, they are examples of living things. Maybe you could mention some of the names of the animals that you are seeing there. Can you? So, do you know why they are called living things? As I said, they are called living things because they are alive. They have life in them. They have life in them. We can also say that living things are things that have life in them, like I just said. Okay. So when we say something has life in it, what does it even mean? When we say something is a living thing, what does it mean? When we say something has life in it, what does it mean? It means that it can grow, it can move on its own, it can breathe, it can eat. Okay, it can do all of these things. So when you take a look at the image on my right, what are some of the things that you see? You see a human being, you see an elephant, a dog, a butterfly, you see flowers, plants, you see fishes, you see a whole lot of things. Okay, all these things are what? Living things. Now let us take a look at what non-living things are. Now we know what living things are. Now let's take a look at what non-living things are. So when you look at the pictures below, there are some examples of non-living things. So in the picture, what can you see? I can see an airplane. I can see stones. I can see glass, and I can see a television, as well as plastic. So what can you also see? Now, do you know why they are called non-living things? Well, they are called non-living things because they are not alive like the other group. Okay, so this group is not alive. They don't have life in them. Okay, they don't have life in them. This means that they cannot grow, they cannot move on their own, they cannot breathe, and they can't eat. So when you take the airplane for example, the airplane is moving, yes, but someone has to drive it. It needs a pilot before it can move. It cannot move on its own. Okay. All right. So I hope we have been able to differentiate between non-living things and living things right now. So stick with me, and I'm going to bring you the lesson 2 and diversity of matter in a bit.